Every weapon is a theory, a guess about what war will demand, written in steel and blood before the first shot is fired. Some theories prove wrong, some prove right, and some prove just enough for their time period and are stepping stones towards something greater. But every weapon is a tool, and it's the hands that wield it that decide the world's ultimate fate. I'm Cole Braddock. Call me Gage. This is the M4 Sherman, not the legend, not the myth, the machine and the doctrine that built it. (1940). France has fallen. 90,000 dead. 2 million captured or missing. 6 weeks. That's all it took for the Blitzkrieg to break the greatest army in Europe. Britain stands alone. And the United States has been drawn into a war they didn't want, but one they must join. There is a question the United States has no answer for yet. What kind of war are we to face? American doctrine in the 1930s was simple. Tanks support infantry. They exploit breakthroughs. They do not fight other tanks. That job belonged to tank destroyers. Fast, mobile, specialized. It was clean. It was logical. And it was about to meet reality. The problem wasn't courage. The problem was an ocean. Whatever America built had to cross the Atlantic, fit in a cargo hold, roll off a beach, and fight the same day it landed. German tanks didn't have that problem. They built for the roads of Europe, short supply lines, rail transport. America built for a world war. And that meant compromise. A compromise that seemed impossible or possibly bloody. One that would cost lives. The Sherman was not designed by fools. It was designed by men who understood logistics as a weapon. In 1941, the Ordnance Department laid out the requirements. A medium tank, 30 tons or less, capable of crossing any bridge in the European theater. A turret wide enough for 3 men to fight without killing each other in the process. An engine reliable enough to start in the frozen Ardennes and keep running in the deserts of North Africa. Every choice answered a question, not what is the best tank we can build, but what tank can we build by the tens of thousands, ship across an ocean, and keep running in the field? The hull sat high. Too high, some would say. But that height wasn't arrogance. It was necessity. The Continental R975 radial engine, an air-cooled aircraft power plant, stood upright in the rear. America had thousands of them, factories already tooled to build more. It wasn't the most powerful engine, 400 horsepower in early models, but it was available. And in a war measured in shipping tonnage, available meant everything. Later variants ran different power plants. The Ford GAAA, a V8 originally meant for aircraft, pushed 450, then 500 horsepower. The General Motors 67504A, twin diesels bolted together. 5 different engine configurations across the production run. Not because the Army couldn't make up its mind, but because the Army understood something the enemy didn't. The best engine is the one you have. The best tank is the one that shows up. Armor was sloped on the glossus plate, 51 millimeters at a 56-degree angle. Not as aggressive as the T-34's 60-degree slope, but enough to improve effective thickness without adding weight. The turret carried 76 millimeters on the mantlet. The sides and rear, thinner, 38 millimeters. Protection from the front, vulnerability from the flanks. A calculated risk, one that demanded tactics to match. The suspension was vertical volute, VVSS. Simple, rugged, easy to repair in the field with a wrench in a few hours. It wasn't smooth. Crews felt every shell crater, every frozen rut. But when a road wheel shattered, they could swap it without a deep. A Panther needed a factory. A Sherman needed a sergeant with a toolbox. 33 tons. A 280 horsepower to ton ratio in early models. Fast for its weight. Maneuverable. Capable of 25 miles per hour on roads. Cross-country, less. But still mobile enough to exploit a breakthrough. The doctrine said tanks don't fight tanks. The Sherman was built to prove doctrine right. Reality had other plans. The theory was sound. Build what you can ship what you can fix what you can fight. 49,000 Shermans rolled off the line, more than every German tank combined. But numbers don't win wars, men do. And the men inside those Shermans were about to learn what the theory forgot. The gun, the 75mm M3. Adequate in 42, a death sentence by 44. In part 2, we talk about the weapon, what it could do, what it couldn't, and why the crews climbed in anyway. Stay tuned, like, sub, drop a comment for more, and if you want to help the channel grow, give us a share on social media. Let's remember together, always,